Good in the Hood YouTube. This is Crazy Samurai 71 here bringing you another video. Today I am bringing you episode 8 of Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. This is the mid-season finale for those that do not know. Episode 8. The episode is entitled Riches and Rags. Much better episode than I thought it was. Didn't introduce anything new, but there are things that are interesting that occur in this episode, and I'll get into them as we go on. And one thing it does have, which I was wondering about, and I'm glad that it does have something which is very good, is that it does hint at, like, you know, like it gives you somewhat of a cliffhanger for something, and I'll get to that towards the end of this review. But let's get started, and it has to do with Singe. If you haven't watched the episode, you'll know. Once you watch it, you'll understand why. Okay, so the episode, as I said before, is called Riches and Rags, and the episode starts off with Ivan picking up a package down at the loading dock or whatever for, you know, the museum, and you know he's picking up this package expecting to find his new training dummy to use so he can practice his, getting better with his sword or whatever. The thing is that, you know, he signs for it, and the thing is that when he tries to sign for it, he actually takes out like a quill pen and like tries to actually use a quill pen to sign for it. But the thing is that it's like, you can just use your finger because it's modern day. So like the guy who's delivering it basically grabs his finger and just like shows him what he has to do and makes him do it. He's like, oh, that's amazing, and he thinks it's crazy. So then, following that, you know, Ivan then says, "Okay, great," and goes and brings the train dummy into the into the base and begins to practice with it. He thinks it's a little bit odd looking, but he's like, you know what? It's a train dummy. I might as well just use it. And so he ends up practicing with it. So then, following this, I believe it's Singe. I wasn't sure exactly. I wasn't looking at the moment who it was, but I believe it was Singe. Decides to create a new monster combination, which is something that I'm a little surprised they didn't do a lot more of in this season, because it's actually kind of a cool idea that these two monsters actually made a lot of sense. So what they did was they took Spellbinder, who's from like a very early episode, which was an episode focused on Chase, and Gold Digger, which I forget who he was focused on. I know that both of them were filler, but like they were but they were important ones to build like story and all that, and like character backgrounds and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, Gold Digger and Spellbinder combined together to become Spell Digger, and his whole entire idea for Spell Digger is basically, you know, using spells to make people greedy, because you know, gold. Spell Digger, Gold Digger, you get it? Makes sense. So that all happens, and then following this, Singe is told to like help Spell Digger and all that by Heckle, and you know Singe is not very happy with having to, you know, do stuff that Fury create. I believe actually it might have been Fury. It might have been Fury because he was annoyed. So I'm guessing it was probably Fury who made it. That makes more sense. Sorry, I originally wrote something because I was a little confused, but now it makes sense. Probably was Fury. Anyway, that all happened, and then what happens is that following this, Ivan, you know, is practicing with his training dummy or whatever, and the thing is that Ivan was practicing with the dummy, and you know, continues to practice with it, but there's a problem that happens. You see, Kendall comes in, and you know, she's looking for this suit of armor, and the thing is that there's another package that's being brought in by, I believe it was Riley, and the thing is that package had Ivan's real training dummy. The thing that Ivan was using and thought was the training dummy was actually the suit of armor that Kendall was looking for, and that suit of armor is hundreds of years old. So basically he was training with that, and he was slicing up the armor. Yeah. Now, it's all cloth armor, but then again, since it was supposed to be like hundreds and hundreds of years old, you know, it wasn't made of metal back then, I guess. So Go figure. Anyway, that all happens, and it's destroyed, and it's for a museum, and it cost a lot of money, and he really wants to pay back. He really wants to pay back Kendall and help her out as much as possible because he caused this problem. So that all happens. Then following this, we see Heckle is tossing out coins, golden coins to be exact, out to the public, and people are coming by, and they're all like, "Oh, okay, gold coins, awesome!" And they're all trying to collect the coins. At one point, a man comes in to the cafe for the museum and is like, "Are you serious about these? Are you serious about these prices? These prices are ridiculous. How could you charge this much? $2 for a burger, $3 for this, blah blah blah." Like, he's going nuts and all that, and not very happy. And the thing is that the guy's like, "Okay, here you go. I got my coins here. Now, give me my money back or whatever." And the guy's like, "We don't accept gold coins." Like I believe it was Chief was like, "We don't accept gold coins. It's not what we do." And he's like, "Well, and where did you get this in the first place?" And the guy says, "Oh, down the street there's this guy that's just throwing it out and says that they're real coins and all that." And so the thing is that the guy ends up leaving after this, even though he ate the meal and everything, and that was his way of paying and all that. So the thing is that both Chase and Tyler take one of the coins, because he lays down like I think 3 other coins or something like that, and both of them take like one of the coins. And the thing is that, like I said before, greed, money, spell digger, right? So they each grab the coin, a coin, and when they grab the coin, a coin each, what happens is that suddenly it taps into their mind and causes them to become full of greed, wanting more and more money. There's another coin there, so they each try to fight over that. But then afterwards, they're like, "You know what? Maybe we should go down and find out more about those coins and get more of them and get more treasure and all that." And they're all excited and stuff. So it's all, all that intense emotion and oh, we gotta get those coins. So that's all happening. So then what happens is that I just want to make sure I'm not skipping over something. Then the man, Mr. Smith, who is the guy that, had brought in the suit of armor and stuff and was hoping to show it off and stuff, complains about how the, ends up seeing how the armor had been torn up and everything, and Ivan has to explain it to him that, it's not the best suit of armor, but it's not gonna be a big deal. And it's like, well, you have to pay me back. And the thing is that I was like, okay, well, Kendall, you Miss Morgan, you can do that. You pay him back. And the thing is that the guy's like, Kendall's like, Ivan, you don't understand something. This money is not the amount of money that it's worth is about $2-3 million, which means that I don't just have that. That's not pocket change for me. And so the thing is that the guy's like, "You know what? If you don't have it for me by a certain, within a certain period of time or whatever, I am going to close down and take control of this museum and do what I have to in any regard, because I need my money. I need it." So, not good. But obviously Ivan feels bad, and Ivan knows he must do right by a maiden, in other words, Kendall, and so he has to go out and try to get money as best he can. So the thing is that he ends up leaving then, and as we know before, Chase and Tyler went out to go find the coins. When they go and look, they end up seeing Heckle. And the thing is that though their mind is focused on greed, they have enough of a sense to be logical to the point that they're not overly focused on it, because they have some logic, and they're not just oh, money. They know, oh, it's Heckle, we have to fight him or whatever. So they do act intelligent in that regard, and so they end up following Heckle when he tries to go and get more coins. And Heckle and Spelldigger are talking to each other, and so Heckle knows that the Rangers are listening in and following it. And so the thing is that he tells Spelldigger, okay, they're there, but what you should do is go get more coins. So the thing is that the Rangers let Spelldigger go by, and the Rangers are not going to attack him right away. So Spelldigger goes by, and the Rangers are like, "You know what? we have to go follow Spelldigger and see what he's up to. And you know what? Then Tyler's like, you know what? We might just also get some treasure out of this, so we should follow him. And so the Rangers are all like, yeah, you know, the two of them. Obviously, none of the other Rangers have been affected, and actually will really be affected in this episode. But it is important to note that. So that all happens, and following all that, you know, the Rangers are chasing down him. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not skipping over something. But yeah, that is when Ivan, you know, as before I said, you know, he ended up leaving and trying to go find Tyler. And the other Rangers or whatever, and he ends up trying to find Tyler at this point, hoping that Tyler will help him, you know, with the money issue. Thing is that he ends up looking for him while Tyler and Chase are trying to search for Gold Digger. I don't know, Spelldigger. It's confusing. Spelldigger. And the thing is that you know, they're focused on that, and then while Ivan ends up finding Tyler, he ends up being stopped before he even can get to him, and ends up having to get into a fight with Fury. And the thing is that the Rangers are so focused on the gold and all that, and they're collecting gold as they see it on the ground and everything. And eventually, the mini T-Rex that allows Tyler to go super, like T-Rex super supercharged mode or super drive mode or whatever, comes out and ends up, you know, chomping away or whatever, and then ends up running off to go help Ivan. And the thing is that the Rangers have no idea where the mini T-Rex is going, but because they think, oh, maybe he'll lead us to gold, or maybe he'll lead us to Spelldigger, we might as well follow him. And so the thing is that they do so, and, you know, Ivan is fighting Fury, and the mini T-Rex ends in the process bringing them there. So all three of them, Chase, Tyler, and Ivan, end up fighting Fury, and Tyler even goes T-Rex super mode, and ends up fighting him, and then eventually Fury retreats. Following this, I'm just trying to make sure I forget what happens then. Tyler and Chase end up trying to collect a lot of coins on the ground, like gold coins on the ground, and then Ivan knows that he can't just take the monster's coins, he has to do right. So what he ends up doing is he ends up going to the Amber Beach Bank. And the thing is that he ends up going there and trying to claim gold. So he ends up saying, I would like for the bank to withdraw a gold brick. And the bank is like, what are you saying? A gold brick? You put a gold brick in there at some point? And the thing is that, you know, he doesn't have an account information, doesn't know anything that he can use to prove his identity, except for he pulls out his sword. And at that point, he pulls out the sword, which has his name on it, because they asked for proof of ID, which is his name. So the thing is that when they do that, the girl at the counter ends up actually pressing a button to call security or whatever. And so then at that point, Ivan has to retreat so that he doesn't get, attacked by security. So yeah, that happens. So then after all that's happening, Tyler and Chase and all the other Rangers are at the base, and the thing is that they see that Tyler and Chase have pockets full of that are completely full, like overly full of stuff. And the thing is that the Rangers are looking at the two of them like, what do you have in your pockets? What do you have there? And so then suddenly they're like, nothing. And then following that, one gold coin falls down. Thing is that both of them are, full of greed again. So they want that coin. So the moment they see it, they're like, that's my coin. And then the other one's like, that's my coin. And then at that point they end up attacking each other, and all their coins from both of them fall out, and you have this huge pile of coins, and they end up start attacking each other like, I want the coins, it's my coins, and they end up fighting each other and all that. And at one point or another, the other Rangers want to pick up the coins and either help or just try to look at them. And it's like, wait, gold coins, what's going on here? And Kendall is obviously suspicious at that point because she's very logical and smart that way. Although usually the logical one you tend to think of is Riley, and he's logical in a different way. Anyway, she ends up using a special like a scalpel or like kind of tool or whatever to like grab them without actually having to touch them, because she's worried that if she touches them, maybe some spell or something will that like of that kind might occur. So she does so to grab them, and then she wants to study them, obviously. So that all happens, and following that, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing something. Ivan speaks to the man, Mr. Smith, who owned the suit of armor from before, and ends up suggesting that he will offer his service as a guard to Mr. Smith. But the thing is that Mr. Smith has his own guard, and that is Miss Sandra, who protects him and also does a lot of business stuff for him. So, she's a good fighter. On top of that, she does a lot of business stuff. So, yeah, they work out, and he doesn't really need another guard. So because of this, he's like, you need to eventually find me some money, or else I'm taking control of this museum. So Ivan obviously doesn't have much to do at that point, and Ivan eventually shows up back at the base, where he ends up seeing the Rangers are actually getting things set up to eventually shell out to Mr. Smith to pay him back through artifacts. The thing is that even with the artifacts, they don't have enough money. But the thing is that they know that might be the only way that they can do it. And also Heckle speaks to Spelldigger about a plan that he has to deal with the Rangers, and then the Rangers. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing something. Right. Then what happens is that they're like, we might as well go get the coins or whatever. Maybe we can use those coins to pay back the guy, and destroy Spelldigger, and then possibly the coins will lose their effect or whatever. So at that point, they're told, they can go get their coins. And Tyler and Chase have their huge stacks of gold coins in front of them, and they're like, you guys have to help find the coins. You guys know where his path and all that, and know where he's going and all that. So the thing is that like they're holding their coins, like, no, I'm protecting my coins. And so the thing is, they're like, and so Kendall's like, don't worry, I'm not going to touch them, I'm going to make sure that they're safe or whatever. And they're like, all right. And so then they go out, and what happens is that there are two paths of gold coins. One path leads one way, one path leads another way, obviously. And Chase and Tyler split up, and so do the other Rangers that are with them. What happens is that Shelby and Riley are attacked by Spelldigger, who ends up attacking them or whatever, and they end up morphing. And the thing is that if you remember Gold-Digger, Spelldigger is similar in regard to the fact that he has a vault chest on him, along those lines. So the thing is that he opens up his vault when they shoot attacks at him, and he's able to just take it in and make it go away and disappear and have no effect on him, because it's just basically a huge black hole of nothingness. Yeah, so that happens. So then eventually the Rangers, what do you call it? Shelby and Riley end up calling in for the other Rangers to come and say like, if you come to us, you'll be where Spelldigger is. So the other Rangers eventually do show up while they're fighting, and they don't prove to do any better with him opening up his vault and sucking in their firepower. So yeah, that is all happening. And at one point, he opens up the vault, and he ends up trying to suck it up and try to suck in all the Rangers or whatever. Thing is that they're still able to hold on and do well. And at that point, Tyler then goes, T-Rex super mode, and ends up, using the Ankylozord and the Tricerazord's armament to deal with Spelldigger and destroy him. Once finished with that, they then see that the coins are on the ground and everything, and suddenly Chase and Tyler end up losing the effect that they had in regard to the greed that they had, and the coins also lose their effect. So the thing is that they think, we'll pick these up and we'll go give them to the guy, and maybe that will be enough to shell out money, and it'll be good. Thing is that then Spelldigger I always confuse the two because it's just like they're so similar in name. It's because I remember Gold Digger, and it's a better name, but it makes sense because of the combination. Anyway, the point is that all happens. They end up, going into their mechs. This time, Ivan gets to use the sword. I think the only one that hasn't actually used the sword yet is Riley. I believe so. I don't remember for a fact, but I feel like Riley's the only one that hasn't used it. Might be wrong. Anyway, all that happens, and they end up destroying him with the Galaxy Blast, like they've been doing for ever since they've started using the combination involving the Megazord, the Plesiosaur, and T-Rex. That combination has been a regular commodity in the show ever since the Purple Ranger's been introduced, basically, and the Ankylosaur, and since the Graphite Ranger's been but since both of them were in the show, it's been a regular thing. Anyway, all that happens, and then we end up seeing, and this is the part that I mentioned about kind of like a cliffhanger, which I'm excited for, was the idea that we ended up seeing Singe in his prison cell, where he's talking to someone through like a communication device, and Fury is snooping by, and Fury's like, "Who are you talking to?" And the thing is that, he refers to him as like master, or like, "Yes, I won't fail you. I'll do all this stuff for you, sir." And he ends up saying this thing to Fury about like how, "Oh, I'm just being my grandmama." And the thing is that the guy's like, "Well, you refer to your grandmama as a sir?" And so then obviously he's curious, Fury. So that's where they leave that, and maybe that means we're gonna get, maybe Singe is working for Sledge. Maybe. Do you think so? I don't know. I think so. I actually really do think it's either that, or we are going to get, the Debos leader, Chaos, but like obviously with a different name or whatever. That, or it could be some other character that, it's probably obvious, but I'm not thinking of him right now. But I would think that would be pretty logical, that it would be either him or it would be Sledge. Most likely Sledge. But what do you guys think? Do you think we're going to get Sledge, or an Americanized version of Chaos? What do you guys think? I'd love to know that. Anyway, that all happens. Then following this, when they have to pay up their debt, they don't have the money really, and they end up like talking about like, "Come on, aren't you a terrible guy? Aren't you a good guy or whatever?" And the guy's like, "I don't care about that. Like, give me my money. Otherwise, I'm just taking the museum or whatever." And so then suddenly, Prince Philip appears by, and he ends up talking to Ivan about how, "Oh, apparently I heard something regarding, you went to the bank and there was an incident or whatever." It's like, don't talk about that right now. And the thing is that Prince Philip was like, "Don't worry. Apparently, did you not, several hundred years ago, receive a gold brick from King Arthur?" And Ivan's like, "Yes, I did." And the thing is that he's like, "Well, I actually have that brick, and over time, and I have access to your accounts and all that from back then, and it's built up a ton of interest from hundreds and hundreds of years of just, not being used or whatever, and it's worth over $2 million. So the thing is that that's perfect." So he ends up getting a check from Prince Philip. Ivan then gives the check to the guy, and the guy ends up, and the guy's like, "You wouldn't just let the business go away and, get rich?" And Ivan's like, "You know what? It's more important that the citizens of this town enjoy this nice museum, and I am fine with giving it off." And the guy's like, "That guy's pretty noble." So he accepts it at first, but then he rejects it, and then he gives it back to Ivan. And Ivan keeps on trying to hand it back to Mr. Smith, and Mr. Smith tries to hand it back to him, and it's this back and forth motion until eventually Mr. Smith is like, "Okay, Miss Sandra, deal with him, give him his money back." And so then they end up chasing each other, like Miss Sandra ends up chasing him around, and that all happens. That's about it for the episode. Overall, nice episode. Obviously not like huge in regard to new story, but there is that cliffhanger at the end that I mentioned before that definitely is good. I was hoping for something, and I'm glad that they did something. Did I expect them to do something huge? No. I'm glad that they did what they did. I think that that's reasonable, because that way we have some cliffhanger. Something we can expect. Some sort of thing we're looking forward to in the future. Does that mean that we'll know it by episode 9 in August? Maybe. who knows? We'll have to wait and see. It's way too soon right now to assume anything, but personally, I'm looking forward to it. And obviously, when we hear episode summaries being announced or whatever, I will obviously be doing a video regarding the episode summaries for the post-hiatus. At least the first batch, because I'm guessing they might do them in multiple batches like they tend to do, but we'll have to wait and see. It's too early to say. They might do them all for once. Don't know yet. We'll have to hold out and see what we get. So what did you guys think below? Tell me tell me in the comment section. What did you guys think of this episode? I personally enjoyed it a lot. Wasn't the greatest episode, but it was an episode that definitely had interesting things, and it was the mid-season finale, meaning that we are not going to see the show again until like the second to last week, or if not the last week of August. So if you guys so sorry to say that to you guys, that is going to be the case. Does that mean that I'm done covering Power Ranger stuff until then? No, don't think that. But in regard to new episodes of the show, other than the summaries, don't expect anything regarding the show necessarily, unless there's something like regarding the next season or something else that's like big going on. Otherwise, episode wise, we're done until August. So I will see you guys then, and goodbye, guys. This has been, by the way, this has been Crazy Samurai signing one, and I will see you guys in the next video, whatever that will be. And until then, guys, goodbye.